everybody, Monica with Handmade Baker Shop. How is everybody this morning? So today we are going to start off with our first in our Handmade Monday tutorials. So every Monday I will have something for you to learn. You'll also assist in that. Whatever you want to learn, give me a little shout out, send me a message or comment under this video and let me know what part of junk journaling you want to learn. And also don't forget, on Thursdays I'm going to have tips and tricks Thursdays, and they're going to be short little video tips like I did with the disappearing ink. I hope you liked that because I thought that was a useful tip. And so that's the plan. So hopefully I can do that weekly. I may post stuff in between, but I'm going to keep to Monday and Thursdays for sure. Okay, good. So let's get on with our project. This project's going to be in a series. We're going to do one of these journals or stationery kits, whichever you want to call it or do. And so I'm going to take you from beginning to end on this. But what I'm going to start with today is to learn how to do, they've been called waterfall pages, flip-up pages. I don't know, there's about 5 different names of these on the internet. So whatever you want to call it, this is what we're going to do today. And this is great. I like doing these. People buy these and then they add their own photos and their own notes in here, and they give these as gifts, which I think is beautiful. Or even just, you know, a memory book of especially Vanta first years. So this is one that has 2 sides to it. So that's a way you can do that. And if you want to start off real simple, like this one, it's just a few of them. Okay, so you may want to start with something like this if you know you're just beginning, and you can follow along with me. I would recommend, if you haven't done these before, just get some scrap paper. All right, don't you get construction paper, you know, your computer copy paper. Don't use your good paper on your first try. All right, just a little tip there. So what I'm going with, the journal that we're going to do is based on this paper pack, Watercolor Garden. And because, listen, I'm ready for spring, right? We haven't had that bad of a winter, but I'm ready for spring. So I want to do something happy and cheerful, especially for a Monday. And this is just a little peek, and on it, lots of gold foil. So just for this series, for today, I'm going to talk about using 2-sided paper, okay, with patterns, just making sure you get everything straight. Another tip would be use the same ruler when you're measuring throughout this project. Okay, don't switch it up, because going from one ruler to another, there is a little difference. So you definitely want to keep your tools the same throughout your project. All right, that includes your cutting board, your score board, and whatever you're going to use for measuring. Okay, so just keep it consistent with whatever tools you're going to use. And what else can I tell you? Okay, so here, you know, when you're putting a junk journal together, lots of junk journals you see, it looks like somebody just threw a bunch of stuff in there, but believe it or not, it is organized. All right, there is a plan, so have a plan. So when you do get one of these pads, go through it and you're gonna say, okay, let me see what I got here. All right, so I got some of these. You know, you can make cards for these, stick them in the pockets, and so that'll be like a last plan you do with these. And you got some pretty foil paper. Now, you're not going to get a lot of the foil paper in this pack, so you want to plan out how you want to use these. Do you want this to be a page? Do you want to use it for your flip-ups? So you really want to plan out, you know, how you want to use these. So I'm going to use the foil on these. Now, here's an example. This pad only gave me 2 of these sheets. I want this to be the full pages or even my cover, so I'm not going to touch these for my flip-ups. All right, I'm going to use papers that are more plain. Here's another one. I only got 2 of these in here. This I'm not using for a flip-up. I'm going to do something special with those in the journal, so I'm going to stay away from these pages. All right, so just kind of have a plan, go through, think about it, and yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you. And here's some more. They have really great little sayings you can cut out and everything to put on your journal. So this really was a fun pack. And now some packs, you'll see you get pages like this, and you're like, how am I going to fit this in my journal? Okay, now I'm going to show you using this page how we're going to use it for the flip-ups. Okay, this is a good page for flip-ups because you can just use the border, okay, depending on the size that you use. All right, so this is the book I'm going to use. So for the next one, if you want to buy that and follow along, you can get that. And I'm also going to use this. This is the burlap paper, which is so fun. Okay, so I just got these on clearance at Joanne, so hopefully you can get a deal too. So the burlap does come with a paper back on it, so I'll show you how to use those. So this is going to be the project. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so now I have our base of where we're going to attach all of our flip-ups on. Okay, so now the width is going to be up to you. Okay, it all depends on the size of your journal, your page that you're using. You may not use the whole width of the journal. You may just do a smaller one. Okay, so I'm going to give you a basic rule to follow on any size that you're going to do. Okay, so like for this one in progress, isn't that cute? I have wide pages, and then I have a small page. Okay, so how I generally do this is I will take the measurement of my page. So let's say this one is 3 inches. Okay, I will go ahead, take 3 inches, and then subtract 1/4 inch from your cut of your flip-ups. Okay, let me get one for you. All right, because what you want to do, you need to leave room, because it's not going to be super bulky, but you're going to have a little bulk there. So you want to make sure that once everything gets put on, you can flip the pages and fill it up with additional accents and little things and whatever you want to add to it, stickers and stuff. So you want to take the width of your page that you're doing and just subtract, excuse me, 1/4 inch. Okay, and that's going to set the width for your page. All right, so this is 3 inches, so I'm going to do 2 3/4 inches. Okay, this page is, let's see, I think I'm going to do it on this side. So this is much wider, right? This is almost 7.5. All right, so I'm going to do 7 1/4, or I may even do 7. Okay, I probably would do 7 on the width of these pages because it's quite a wide page. So 1/4 to 1/2 inch is what you want to make the width of your flip-ups. Okay, and once you get used to it, hey, listen, you can make them this size and have smaller ones. It's really up to you. But for this book that we're doing today, that's what I'm going to follow. Okay, so let me put this away. Oh, what I wanted to show you. So some people ask me, well, do you do your waterfalls once you already have your book together, or do you do it separately? It's really up to you. If you're a beginner at this, I would do it separately. Okay, just in case, something happens or gets messed up, you don't ruin your whole journal page, because I have done that and it's not fun. So what I'm going to do for this project for you is you're going to get the length of your page that you want to do. All right, so this is it's about 8.5. Okay, so I did this at about 8 for here, but what I did was I left this flap on, and what we're going to do is once we get our page, we're going to be able to just lie it over. Let me get in there. We're going to slip it right over your page. So there's no thinking involved, no gluing down. You do all your messing up on here. All right, we can always redo this easy. And now what we're going to do, we're going to have flip up pages, but we're going to have this where this flips ups, and then you can have some more stuff here. All right, so this will be really fun for you. I think you'll like it, and it's better than just having it stationary and glued down. So we'll have it all together. And then on this side, we're going to do another special project on this side. All right, so that'll be as we go along on the book. All right, so if you follow mine, it's going to be 8.5, so I'm doing kind of 8 on here, and then I think I did the whole 12-inch sheet. Yeah, so I took the width right off the 12 by 12-inch page, and then whatever your length of your page is, and you can match it up with your book, and then that's where you're going to just score it, and then you'll have your fold over. So we're just going to work on this part right now. All right, so I hope that explains that for you. So now what we're going to do, I want to get into using pattern paper, two-sided pattern paper, especially for flip-ups. What you don't want to happen is have your, when you do your flip-up, have your flip-up be upside down, either when you're flipping it up or up on top, okay? So you really want to watch how you're lining up your pages, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to find out the pages that you want to do, all right? And on this one, since we have a 4-inch width, we're going to do 3 3/4. So you're going to take your 12 by 12 inch sheets from your paper pack, and you're going to cut 3 3/4, okay? 3 3/4 strips of the papers you want to use, all right? And you're going to play around. So for this one, that'll be the front, and I used a few more pages, but we're just going to show you this. Then that's what the other part's going to look like. Oops, let me move that up. Okay, so that's how you're going to have two-sided. Now, the first thing I want you to do to save yourself a big headache, okay, your pages need to line up, all right? Let me get the book back here again. You want to make sure these are even on the side, okay? Now, if your paper's cut from the beginning uneven, you're just never going to get it right, and yeah, it's going to drive you crazy. So let's double check everything as we go along. So after you do your strips, you're going to take them all, you're going to pat them down on one side and make sure it looks good. Everything's lined up, there's nothing sticking out. Now, what I want to show you is here, see how you can see the gold underneath? So this is not cut straight and you're going to have an issue. All right, so you're going to do one side, take a look. Then if everything looks good on this side, you're going to go on the other side and do this. It should match. It shouldn't be an issue. But see, there is an issue here because this is cut just a little off. And that's why when you're cutting, hold that paper down with your paper cutter and, you know, get it good. Make sure your blade's nice and sharp. So, so just watch that. So this is your first line of defense. Once you have all of these nice and even, you are good to go for the next thing. Okay, so put those aside. So then what you're going to do is you're going to cut your flaps. Oh, let me talk to you about the patterns again. Let's get back to this. Okay, so here everything looks good, right? You're going to line up your pages. You're going to do this, and then you're going to flip up. Now, do all of your patterns on the flip up side come up right side up. Okay. This looks good, right? Okay, all right, so let me do this. This looks good. Let's get started. Okay, watch. If we put it this way, okay, looks okay. That's upside down to me, but you might not bother you. That looks good, but now look. Okay, so that's good. All right, so you want to go from both sides. See, this is upside down here, but if we used it as a flip up, it would be good on the inside. Okay, outside no good, flip it around. If it's on the inside, it's good. So take your papers, line them up, and make sure that it looks good from a flip up and a flip down. All right, and then just adjust it. All right, so again, your first line of defense, making sure they're even here, and before you're even going to think about cutting, make sure that they're in the order that you want, and you want to do that, okay? Now, your next thing that we're going to do is, how do you determine, before we start cutting, how much of this do you want to see? Do you want to see 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch? Do you want them uneven? That's something you have to decide, okay? I usually do 1/2 an inch showing, okay? And why this is important, how much you want to show determines where you're going to score to flip it up, okay? This line is very important, all right? So we're going to do the project on this. We are going to do them all the same, okay? I will have a tutorial if you want to do them all different sizes and stuff, okay? So we're going to do them all, and what I generally do is 1/2 an inch. I think 1/2 an inch really shows enough, but here I'm going to show you. So let me get the ruler out for you here. Okay, So let's say you want to do, I'm going to do, let's flip this around. Okay. So I am going to do my flip ups at 3 inches for this project. Okay. So I'm going to set the bottom of this one at 3 inches. Let's see. I want to make sure you can see this. Is that glare, right? Okay, there we go. I think that'll work. Okay. Okay, so 3 inches. Now I'm going to do a 1/4 of an inch because you've seen an inch. So I'm going to line that up at there. And then I'm going to do another one at 3 1/2. Let me flip this over. And this is just so you can see how much you want to show. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, and that's going to be a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so some of you might be fine with that. Okay, now 1/2 an inch. So I'm going to line it up, and you're going to line the first one up just for however long you're going to have them. If they're going to be 4 inches, line it up at 4. You know, whichever you're going to choose. So I'm doing 3 inches. So again, I'm going to put the next one. What do we say? 1/2 an inch, right? So I'm going to put the next one at 3 1/2, and then at 4. Let's see how that's going to look. Flip it over, and there's your 1/2 an inch. Okay, let's do 3 1/4 inch. Okay, I'm going to start at the 3 inches, whatever our number is going to be. What did I say, 3/4? Okay, so we're going to go 3/4 there. 3 3/4, and then 4 1/2 for the next one. Okay, hold it, flip it over, and that is 3/4 of an inch. So, you know, depending on how you want it to look, that's what you're going to do. Now, the bigger space that you have on these, the less flip-ups you're going to have. So just keep that in mind, okay? And again, so now once you have what you like, okay, you're going to now cut your pieces. All right, you're going to have all your flip-ups. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to do 3 inches as my flip-ups. That's what I want to leave, okay? So what you're going to do, no matter what you choose, if you want 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, all you're going to do is add 1/2 an inch to your measurement, okay? So since these are going to be 3 inches, I'm cutting them at 3 1/2 inches, okay? Now again, what you want to do is make sure when you're cutting, you check that you're cutting it the right way, all right? Remember, flip-ups and your pattern, you want to make sure that they're all spacing the right way when you cut it. All right, so double check. So, excuse me, I got a sore throat today. Okay, so double check that pattern, okay? Once you have them all cut, check them again. Remember when we checked the long parts to make sure that they were even? This is your next check, okay? Make sure they all lined up. Now, if you do that, if you put them together and you get this, do not panic and say, I cut it wrong. It's just one that's out of place, okay? So put them together, and if it all looks good now, you are ready to go. So let's get started on scoring. Okay, so I wanted to go over the cutting of this paper because I said I would go over that, so I just wanted to squeeze that into this. So these pads that, you know, that big blank space, we're not making a journal 12 by 12. Of course, maybe some of you are. But for this, let's use this to our advantage for our flip-ups, okay? So how you want to cut something like this, all right? Our flip-up is 3 3/4 for the width, right? Okay, so that's going to be our flip-up. So this is 3 1/2. So this is how we want to have this show, right? We want it to be flipped up like this. So we're going to cut along here at our 3 1/2 mark. All right, so you're going to cut 3 1/2 and just use one that you have cut already just to guide you. All right, double check everything. All right, I always double check everything because I'm always sorry when I don't. All right, so you're going to cut a strip, your full 12 by 12 length at 3 1/2. Then you're going to cut these 3 3/4 into your pieces. Okay, and you should get, think you get 3 out of this, okay? So, so just keep your pattern the right way, okay? And this one has, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's got this on it. So, so that's how you would cut these. All right, so I hope that helps with that. Okay, let's get to our scoring. So I have all my pieces here, and again, I am going to double check everything. Our pieces should be just fine though if we followed the rule, right? Okay, so again, say I did that one. Okay, let's flip it over. Let's make sure we have them going the right way. All right, and for me, this is going to be perfect, okay? Again, you may want to flip over the measurements I gave you and have it come in even more, whatever you want to do. So what you're going to do first, before we start scoring, we got to make sure everything is in the right direction. We want it set up the way we want it. Okay, so that's going to be my flip up, so this has got to go down, right? Because we got to turn it over. Okay, up, see, so that's upside down. So I want it to go this way. Okay, so now that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. My gold. What else have I got? I think I'll do a yellow on this side. So I'll have that go that way. And this has the punch hole for when they hang it in the store. I'm going to leave it because I might put a little ribbon there or something, all right? So don't be quick to say, I'm going to take that off. You know, really think about it because you can always add to things, okay? I think I want a little red here. So we're going to do red. That's going to be okay as a flip up. All right, so we're going to put everything together. I'm going to do a little gold on this side. So now this, if I do the gold, does that flip up? That's going to be upside down. So let's turn it around. Now we're good. Okay. And the reason why you want to do this, too, because when we go to score, you want to keep everything in order. All right, and then what's the side of these? These are both brown, so I'm going to do this one. Where's the B? I want the B to show down there. And then we'll do a red there. All right, so this is what I'm going to do for this one. Okay. I actually wanted the garden on top, but maybe I'll do that on the other page. Okay. All right, so this is going to be my order. And I have not measured to see if, I know this will fit. There probably will be some extra room, but you can add more. After this is down, you have space to add. So the way we're going to do it, you can add, okay? Okay, so this is the order that I want, okay? So now I want to score these. So I'm going to keep it in order. I'm going to get my scoreboard. Okay. So this is the one I have. You can get these at all the craft stores. It comes with a yellow thing, but I lost it because that's what happens in my shop when I'm working. I make a mess. Okay, so we're going to take our top one. You're going to keep your hand where the top's going to be, and we're going to flip it this way and get it on the board. And we're going to score at what? We're going to score at that 1/2 inch. That's the measurement we're using for this one because we want 1/2 inch to show on the bottom, right? Okay, so then we're going to take our card and we're going to flip it over. That's our top. We can do the same thing. Now, actually, probably what would be easier for you, turn your pad this way, your board. Okay, so this is our top. Let's do 1/2 inch. Okay, actually, I can't do it like that because I'm lefty. Okay, and then we're going to score. Okay, and see, now I'm like questioning the flip up. Nope, we're still good. All right, so we're going to stick that back there. Actually, I'm going to flip this and then flip that. And then we're going to keep going and do all our pieces. Okay, so you can get a little confusing. Half an inch, or whichever you're doing. That one, and we'll go through. Now you see how you can get everything mixed up. So go slow. You'll get it. Okay, so we have them all scored. And let's see if I laid them back down correctly. Okay, I'm going to double check, keep them in order. Okay, well, right side up. Thing looks good. 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 And I think I wanted this one to say, wait a minute. Opposite, right? Okay. So it looks like this one, look what happened. And that's because being on camera, you're trying to get everything right. But this one, I scored on the wrong side. Okay. So again, why we double check? So that one is going to be used for something else. Okay. But I think everything else is good. And we are going to go with it now. Okay. So now we are going to tape these down. Okay. So we got everything measuring up correctly. We have our board. Okay. And now we are going to tape. So let's talk about getting these put down. You can use good old tacky glue. Okay. This is fine when you're taking your time and doing this. It's good. A tip is leave your glues laying down. Okay. You know how this is when all the air and you have to shake it and everything. Yeah. So keep your glue laid down and it'll always be ready for you to go. You can use fabric tack too. This is very good too. This is expensive though, so tacky glue is just fine for this. But what I'm going to do for the purpose of the video, I am using double-sided tape because I don't have to wait for anything to dry. But tacky glue you can use and it's fine, okay? So here we go. So we're going to score our stuff. Our flip-ups. Okay, and let's see. I don't want to score on this board here I'm using. Okay, so we're going to make sure that's nice and creased. Okay. Now your first one goes down different than all your other ones. Okay. Now you can choose to leave them squared off like that. I like to round the corners. That's just what I prefer. And if you forget to do it, you can do it after too. Okay, so no worries there. So your first one is going to go down like this. Okay, your flap is going to go this way. Right, so we're going to glue or tape this, and that is going to set the tone and the lineup for all your other cards going down. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do some tape. Double-sided tape is great. I love it. Especially, wait, I'm just looking for my, there we go. I'm looking for my tool to get this off. Double-sided tape is great if you don't have a lot of time, you know, kids and family and life, and you just want to get in your craft room and just put something together. Double-sided tape helps. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this lined up. Wherever you want it, you can show as much or as little as you want off the top. If you want to do the top, and then with some of the words that were in the packet, you could do that. Okay, you can put the wording at top, and then start it there, which actually, I think that is what I'm going to do. See, that looks cute, right? And there's so many little word things in here. And actually, this might look cute, and then maybe put a little bee here or something. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so as you can see, you can adjust as you go, you know, or even this one's cute, right? You put the little bee there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start a little lower than all the way at the top. So what you want to do is just make sure you get it lined up. And listen, you can eyeball this. I mean, it'll be straight for the most part. Okay. Now you are just going to do that. With the double-sided tape, you're ready to go for the next one, okay? But again, the tacky glue, I've used it, put it down, just hold it for like 30 seconds. You can move on to the next piece, okay? So this is it. So that's pretty good. Just eyeballing it there, right? Looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's do the next piece. Now this piece we folded down, right? Our next piece, we need it to flip up like this, okay? So let me just get this. You want your crease to be good because it's easier for when it goes up, okay? So now on this piece, line it up, and we are going to glue this one right into the tab of that one, okay? So we're going to go right on there, right on, just like that, okay? And then, now, as you go along, you're going to test that this lines up and looks good, okay? So that's going to be good. That's our 1/2 inch. So I'm going to now, I usually leave it on here. Make sure I don't lose sight, because I do pick up my papers and forget. I think, oh, I have to reset everything. So don't rush through this process. Take your time. This is supposed to be relaxing. Put on one of your favorite movies. Sometimes I have Driving Miss Daisy. I like that movie. Or something from the 80s. Right? Okay, so now I am going to line it up there. Get it straight. Now, what the advantage of using glue is, you can test it out and shift it if you need to. If you're using tape, you kind of don't have a lot. So don't press it all the way down till you know this is lined up, because you sometimes can't move it every time. So I had to shift it a little bit, okay? And now it looks straight, see? Okay, so it's all even. And now I can press it, okay? And that one's good to go. And you see how this is going to be the same as if you did this. All right, so that's the importance of getting everything measured at the beginning, lined up and all that. Now, I didn't cut this yet, but I'm going to move on because I'm sure you want to get started on yours. Okay, so here's my next sheet. Now, here's what you're going to do on this one. Okay, so I think this is what we were going to do, right? We're going to do the gold next. So I'm going to butt it up right up against this. The last card is your line, okay? And you're going to fidget it just a little bit just to make sure it's all even, okay? So I'm going to take this, and this is going to go right on your backing, okay? We're not overlapping anything now anymore. Now this is just straightforward gluing, taping, and lining up. Okay, now we're on our last one. All right, I started fast forward that, and I had a little video glitch. It stopped, so a little bit got skipped, but you got the important stuff down, okay? So we just, again, went down, and you can just keep adding more and more, just like this, okay? You are good. Line it up. Because remember, you may not know how many you need. All right, this is a little off. I'll have to fix that. Okay. So again, if you use glue, you can move it around. So you're better off using glue until you and I did a lot of these and I still screwed it up. But anyway, I'll fix that. But here's the page. Okay, you got it? And I did just enough here. But remember, I was going to start at the top, so I probably would have needed like 2 more of these. But I think I'm going to do the idea of putting that at the top, and I think that's going to look cute. All right, so I want you guys to try it. I hope this was helpful, that you liked it, all the tips and stuff. I know this video is kind of long, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, and then, so we'll get started on that book. If you do this and you add it to one of your journals, post a picture for me. I'd love to see your work. If you did it with this pack, try it. And then I'll see you next time for the next part of the book. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you subscribe. Send some people over. Trying to get some subscribers, and we'll start doing some giveaways if you're interested in hanging around and doing these projects with me. All right, now you have a good one, and I'll see you next time.